so you can get qualified candidates fast. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/household. That's ziprecruiter.com/household. ziprecruiter.com/household. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. From Morning Edition on the radio to NPR News Now on smart speakers, NPR podcasts, NPR.org, and events, NPR is a part of people's daily lives. And so are the brands that sponsor its unparalleled programming. Each month, NPR receives over 100 million loyal, engaged listeners that appreciate NPR's non-commercial, information-based approach to brand messaging, an approach that performs for brands. Listeners find brand messaging on NPR 23% more memorable than
The first time I really remember my mom talking about the curse was when I was quite young. I think I was probably 5 or 6.
In Allie's family, there's been an idea for generations that all the family's problems came from Jell-O. A Jell-O curse. The men in the family had their idea of what it meant.
Alcoholism, addiction, existential boredom. The family had a history of all of those problems and also suicide and early deaths, sort of from mysterious causes.
Mary heard about the curse when she was little. And at first, it was like a scary bedtime story.
She had learned as a child that the curse was specific to her family, specific to the men in her family, and how it haunted them because of the connection to Jell-O and the great wealth that Jell-O had brought the family.
But then, after Mitch died, Mary struggled with grief. A number of men took advantage of her vulnerability, abused her, and she eventually became addicted to drugs and alcohol. The curse started to feel very real to Mary, a curse that affected women. And over her life, she began to see Jell-O and everything it represented as a kind of parable. She could see it when she turned on the TV or opened a magazine and got a blunt reminder of where her money came from. The Jell-O ads made her cringe.
So it seems like she's looking up at someone who's taller than her, and
Allie showed me some old Jell-O ads from this time, around 1970. In one, a woman with coiffed auburn hair grimaces up at the camera, her hand over her mouth.
And the quote at the top of the image is, "This is the guess what happened when I backed the car out, dear," pudding. So the idea being that this woman messed up and now has to atone for it by offering her husband a slice of pie.
Jell-O isn't alone here. It didn't invent sexism, and it was far from the only mainstream company with ads like these. But even so, something about these ads feels especially biting. Here's another one. She's holding a Jell-O cream pie, clearly to atone for the new $950 fur coat she bought. You can even see the price tag on it.
Egregism.
These were published. Mary, her mother, was in her 30s. Allie hadn't even been born. Then later in the 70s, Jell-O found a new face for the product. The always cheerful, friendly, and seemingly unthreatening
Bill Cosby. Why not make new sugar-free Jell-O instant pudding?
Bill Cosby hawked Jell-O in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, even in the last 10 years. It's one of the longest celebrity endorsements in history.
How long has it been since your mom's fixed Jell-O pudding for you?
A long time ago.
How long?
For a lot of that time, especially in the 70s and 80s, the ads were still about mom in the kitchen making Jell-O for her family.
Remind her, Mom, you know how the kids love Jell-O